Welcome back to Federal Uncovered, the channel where I delve into the intricacies of U.S. government agencies. Ever found yourself scratching your head when hearing about the Department of Justice, or DOJ, and the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS? If you're puzzled about what sets these two powerhouses apart, then today's episode is for you. I'm going to unpack the unique roles, histories, and functions of the DOJ and DHS. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how each contributes to the safety, legality, and security of the United States. So sit tight, because this is going to be a revealing journey. Let's get started. Before we understand what these two colossal departments do today, it's crucial to take a step back and understand their roots. So let's hop into our time machine and start with the Department of Justice. The DOJ wasn't always its own department. In fact, before its establishment in 1870, the Attorney General existed without a department and had to borrow staff from other departments to get things done. Just imagine, the entire legal muscle of the federal government was basically a one-man show. Fast forward to today, the Department of Justice has grown exponentially and handles a multitude of responsibilities. They've been involved in historic cases ranging from breaking up monopolies in the early 20th century to fighting against civil rights violations. The DOJ also plays a vital role in counterterrorism. While it might seem like that's more the domain of DHS or the Department of Defense, the DOJ actually prosecutes cases of domestic terrorism and works to dismantle terror financing networks. But it's not just about going after the bad guys. The DOJ also has a role in defending the federal government. Whether it's litigation over healthcare laws or challenges to immigration policy, the DOJ represents the U.S. government in court. This makes it a key player in how laws are interpreted and applied, ultimately shaping the legal landscape of the country. In more recent years, the DOJ has turned its attention to cybercrime and the unique challenges posed by the digital age. From prosecuting hackers to combating online extremism, the DOJ is evolving to meet the complexities of the 21st century. It's this wide range of responsibilities, ranging from civil rights to corporate fraud, from counterterrorism to cybercrime, that makes the DOJ one of the most versatile and important departments in the U.S. government. All right, we've dissected the many hats the Department of Justice wears, from civil rights to cybercrime. Now, let's shift our focus to a department that, while much younger, has quickly become crucial in the landscape of American governance, the Department of Homeland Security. While the DOJ has roots stretching back to Reconstruction, the DHS is a product of more recent history. It was formed in the wake of the September 11th attacks, a moment that revealed gaps in the country's national security apparatus. Established in 2003, the DHS was tasked with the monumental job of protecting the United States from a wide array of threats. It started as a merger of 22 different federal departments and agencies, each with their own special focus, from immigration to disaster response. This made DHS the third largest cabinet department, an organizational giant tasked with an immensely complex mission. The goal: to streamline and coordinate efforts across various agencies to better safeguard national security. Unlike the DOJ, which has a broad legal mandate that has evolved over more than a century, DHS was formed with a specific focus on protective and security services. It's responsible for everything from border security and immigration enforcement to disaster relief and cybersecurity. The DHS also houses agencies you've probably heard of, like the Federal Emergency Management Agency, known as FEMA, which steps in during natural disasters, and the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, which handles airport security. Then there's the U.S. Secret Service, responsible for protecting the president and other high-profile leaders. In short, if it involves the security and well-being of America and its citizens, DHS is likely involved in some capacity. While the DOJ focuses primarily on the legal aspects of governance, prosecuting crimes, representing the U.S. in court, and ensuring justice, the DHS is all about practical, boots-on-the-ground operations designed to keep America secure. In the years since its inception, DHS has had to adapt quickly to emerging challenges, from evolving terrorism threats to natural disasters exacerbated by climate change. The department's focus has broadened, but its core mission remains: to keep America safe. Now that we've gotten a good grasp on the history and roles of both the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security, let's examine how each department is structured, because that's where you'll find some fascinating differences. The Department of Justice is headed by the Attorney General, who is the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in the federal government. Below the Attorney General, you've got various divisions and offices that focus on specialized areas of law, like the Civil Rights Division, the Antitrust Division, and the Criminal Division, just to name a few. What's interesting is that the DOJ also oversees federal law enforcement agencies, like the FBI and the DEA. These agencies have their own sets of responsibilities, but ultimately report to the Attorney General. This makes the DOJ not just a legal body, but also an operational one, responsible for enforcing federal laws across various domains. On the flip side, the Department of Homeland Security is headed by the Secretary of Homeland Security. The DHS has a more operational structure designed around its various agencies, each with a specific focus. We're talking about the Coast Guard for maritime security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE for immigration and customs issues, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, for disaster response. Unlike the DOJ, where the focus is more on legal proceedings, the DHS is more about frontline action. While the DOJ might prosecute someone for a cybercrime, the DHS is more concerned with preventing the cyber attack in the first place through its Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. These structural differences mirror their respective roles. While the DOJ is more about administering justice through legal channels, the DHS is focused on providing security and emergency services. And although both departments can sometimes be involved in similar issues, say counterterrorism efforts, their approaches are usually quite different due to these organizational structures. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Which department is better, DOJ or DHS? But let's get one thing straight. Neither is better than the other. They're designed for different purposes. It's like comparing a scalpel to a Swiss Army knife. Both are useful, but for very different tasks. That said, there are some common misconceptions about these departments that I'd love to clear up. For one, many people assume that the Department of Homeland Security is all about combating terrorism. While that's a crucial aspect of its mission, it's not the entire picture. DHS is also heavily involved in emergency response, cybersecurity, and border management. So it's not just an anti-terrorism unit, it's a multifaceted organization aimed at safeguarding the country on several fronts. Another misconception is that the Department of Justice is just a bunch of lawyers in suits prosecuting criminals. While legal proceedings are a significant part of what they do, the DOJ also plays a pivotal role in policy development and enforcement. They're not merely courtroom warriors, they're key players in shaping the legal landscape of America. So, to the question of which department is better, the answer is neither. Each has its own set of responsibilities, methods, and expertise. They are two pieces of a much larger puzzle that make up the U.S. government's efforts to maintain justice, peace, and security. Rather than being in competition, these departments often collaborate to achieve these goals, bringing their unique skills to the table. So there you have it, folks. We've traveled through time to understand the historical roots of the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security. We've dissected their various roles, examined their unique structures, and even busted some common myths about them. Remember, neither department is better than the other. They're like two sides of the same coin. Each has its own crucial role to play in the governance and security of this nation, and more often than not, they work in tandem rather than in competition. If you found this deep dive into the DOJ and DHS enlightening, make sure to hit that like button and share the video with anyone you think might be interested. And if you have any thoughts or questions, I'd love to hear them, so drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to Federal Uncovered for more explorations into the intricate web that is the U.S. government. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay informed.